It probably feels like this year we don't actually need a Lent. Uh, as far as I can see, it seems that we've been living Lent pretty consistently for the past year. That must be what surprised me during this past week as we were listening to the story of Genesis in our daily readings at Mass. It struck me as odd that we would be listening to the story of creation at this point. We were in week 5 of Ordinary Time. Lent is coming up. Why the story of creation? I think there was something very particular within this first chapter in Genesis that spoke to me about our time right now. Because God created from a formless existence. God created, Genesis tells us, from chaos. And he brought order where there was chaos. From a space that lacked life, God brought life and life in abundance. And from the first human person's isolation and loneliness, God created so that there would be mutual relationship. When light was created, it wasn't that darkness disappeared, but rather God separated the light from the darkness. And because of that separation, and because of the light that was there, we could see darkness for what it was. Where there was life, when God created that life, it's not just that God created life, but God sustained that life and allowed for a promise of growth. And in these relationships, the relationships were ones that not just took us out of isolation, but put us into fraternal relationships of care for others and of care for the one who is the other, the one who is different from ourselves. Lent is a time to name the chaos, to name the disorder, to name this disorder within ourselves and within the world around us, and to allow the light to gradually begin to separate from the darkness and to name the darkness for what it is, and not to run from it or not to fear it. This is the way in which we handmaids, one of the ways in which we handmaids see and understand reparation as well. To expose through love and tenderness and truth that which is not what it was created to be. Those spaces within ourselves and in the world around us where there may be disordered attachments to wealth, to control, to prestige, to ideas or to ideology, maybe even attachments to stability and certainty, and maybe even to chocolate. But there, once those spaces in which, once those attachments are seen and revealed, there to allow God's love to love those things into order, to love them into life, and to love them into meaningful relationships of fraternal friendship. May this Lent be a time for each of us and for all of us together to be able to allow the light to name what is the darkness and allow that darkness to be touched and transformed through God's love. We remain united together in prayer and in our works and in our fasting this Lent.